Hello. Okay, hi. Buenos dias or dias. I don't know. Failed Spanish, so ignore that. But anyways, hi. Welcome to this video. So this video is centered around my birthday. And this is not an original idea. I have definitely seen this. So I think Jenna Marbles was the first one I've ever seen do it. And she did like, whatever, 20 something years and then 20 something lessons. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do and a really awesome time to kind of like reflect on your life and like things you've learned, stuff you've overcome, or mistakes you've made, just like kind of all of that. Also, this is bothering me that this like folds over, but that's fine. So actually tomorrow is my 24th birthday. Feeling crazy. I definitely don't feel 24. I think I feel like 19 or 20. I don't know why. I think I look like pretty young, which is good, but I feel like a lot of people my age look older than me. I don't know why that is. Or I feel like they look older than me. I don't know why. I don't know when you actually start feeling the age you are, or if you never do, or if some people do and some people don't. But regardless of that, let's jump into the video. So yeah, I have a list actually over here that I'm gonna look at here and there, or actually not here and there, for every single one, because there's no way I could write down 24 lessons and remember, or not write down 24 lessons and remember what to say. So yeah, I kind of took a day or two to write down some ideas and things that I've learned, stuff I've been through, things I've overcome, mistakes I've made, all of that. So yeah, let's jump into it, and I'll kind of give like a little explanation or maybe a big explanation depending on the bullet point for each lesson or thing I've learned. So yeah, cool. Let's get into it. Okay, so 24 lessons I've learned in 24 years. I'm just gonna preface this by saying these are in no way me pushing my experiences or my ideas or my lessons onto you. This is just me saying my piece, what I've gone through, and what I've learned. This is not to say that all the things I'm gonna mention will work for everybody. You have to take everything that anybody says and kind of match it to your own life and see, does this fit? Does this make sense? Does this work for me? Whatever. So do with this information what you will, and let's get into it. The first one is try to see the brighter side of things. So I think I do this pretty well. I don't do it all the time, and I can definitely improve on it. But this is like to say, if you're in a situation and you are always looking at the negative, of course the situation is going to seem worse than it is, or the negative parts will be highlighted. I know this is way easier said than done, like most things, but what has worked for me is if I'm in a negative situation, look for the little positive things, and it will make the situation that much better. So that's that. The second one is think before you act. I definitely don't always do this, and I can still work on it, but I'm trying to make a conscious effort to really consider all the possibilities, or if I'm in an argument, really think about my answer before, or disagreement, think about my answer before, replying back to the person, whether it's in person or email or text or whatever it is, or a phone call. And really consider like the situation, like really think about what I want to say before I go ahead and say it. And this saves you like a lot of like, oh, I didn't mean to say that, oh, whatever. Like, I think it really helps to think things through before you say something or before you, go and do something. The third one is try to develop good like eating habits and healthy habits. This is kind of like a big one, kind of encompasses a lot. But yeah, I think it's way better to start healthy habits as soon as you can rather than, ignore health things and then later on you're like, well, crap, I could have done all of this stuff and I would have been in a better situation. For example, like eating habits, like maybe don't have 4 bags of Cheetos, every night. I know it can be hard to do, but maybe limit yourself. Say, you'll have like a cupful or something if you really love them. There's things you can do to still enjoy what you like, but then not overindulge and make it maybe less severe. Not so many Cheetos. Still Cheetos, not so many. The next one is if you hate your job, it's not forever. This is something that I've kind of struggled with a little bit, but also realized earlier on. I'm trying to think. I had one job that I was really like, it was really a struggle. I really didn't like it. Actually, I've had many jobs that I don't like. But instead of giving up and quitting, I feel like I've always tried my hardest and tried to do my best. And then when it's over, I can say, you know what, I didn't like what I was doing, or whatever the case is. I didn't like who I worked for or who I worked with. But I still did the best job that I could in the situation, and that's what counts. Also, that helps, like, say you really don't get along with your manager, do the best job you can, and then in the end, the manager has nothing but good things to say about you, even if you hate your job, even if you don't like your manager, because you still tried your hardest and you still did a good job, and that's what counts in the end. So yeah, I would say that. Some of these are like big things and some of them are really little things. The next one is if you have short hair like I do, like similar to this, I need to, and I should have realized this earlier, to maintain this, you have to cut it like at least once a month, at least every 3 to 4 weeks. Right now, like I kind of like gelled it down and then put hairspray on it so it doesn't look crazy. But if I didn't do that, this would be sticking out. You can see it's like getting pretty long. And typically I like to have this like pushed down and really buzzed and then the top longer. So I would really say that, try to stick to that when you can. Obviously right now and during this time, I'm not going to the barber. I'm not going to the hair salon to like get this done. But you can bet your butt that when this is all over, I will be, you know, the first appointment there. So the next one is making lists. This really helps me. I'm not really sure why, and I'm sure, you know, a billion other people do this, but if you feel stressed and you're like, I have no time to get all of this stuff done, like I don't know what to do, make a list. You can prioritize things and say like, okay, I have to clean my room, I have to go grocery shopping, I have to go to the gym, and I need to write a thank you note, whatever is most important, you know, put that to the top, and then say, maybe today I'll do these things, and then tomorrow I can do these other things that need to get done, but they're maybe not as important. So I would say lists help a ton, and you can go ahead and check off all the items when you're done. And then, you know, when you're done with the list, you can look at it and be like, okay, well, I didn't just sit around all day today, or I got half the things I wanted to done. That's good. Let me just show you, get a cool notepad. So this notepad I have and I got for Christmas from my sister, it says Barely Keeping Up, and it has Kim all over it. So I think that's really cute because, you know, I'm barely keeping up, and I'm sure a lot of people are. Anybody who knows me knows I love the Kardashians. So this is a lifesaver, and you can go ahead and check off every little thing right here when you're done with it. So why not? So that's that. Yes. Okay, the next one. This one I've actually kind of realized right now while this quarantine is happening and this, you know, terrible virus is going on. I think before this time, I maybe didn't value relationships and people as much as I should have. And I would say that they're way more important than I had thought they were. During this time, I've been reaching out to like family and grandparents and some aunts and friends, and just trying to be like, hey, are you okay? You know, how's everything going? How are you holding up? And I think that means a lot. And, you know, being by yourself, and I know everybody has a million things to do, but just take a couple minutes out of your day, reach out to someone you haven't reached out to in a while. Yeah, you never know when you might need something down the line, or maybe they're really struggling and they could use someone to talk to. So I would say don't push relationships to the side. Those are important. You know, people are valuable more than, you know, things, money, all the stuff. People are really what matters. The next one, number 8, is to be thankful for big and little things. This is kind of like not taking things for granted. So say, I don't know, you can say you have a bad day and there's one really big monumental thing that happens and you're like, crap, this is like the worst thing ever, it's horrible. I would say to try to find, and something that I do is try to find the positive things. So like you can, you know, pick any positive thing and think about that. So during this quarantine, you know, I can think about, it could be way worse for me. I could be, I don't even know. I couldn't, maybe wouldn't have food to eat, or maybe I wouldn't be able to go for walks, which I really like to do. So you can really pick the positive things, and maybe it doesn't change the entire situation, but it definitely makes it seem less worse than it really is. So yeah, I would say that's a good idea. Number 9 is always save a little bit of your paycheck. I am not the best at saving. I can admit that, and I can definitely get better at it as well. But even if it's like $10 or $20 for every paycheck, just put it in the bank or transfer it. You know, you can set up like immediate transfers for every 2 weeks or every week, whatever you get paid. And, you know, then a month you'll have, you know, that much more money. In a year, you'll have that much more money. In 2 years. So it can be a little tiny amount if that's all you can do, and that's fine. But as long as you're saving a little bit, I think that's really great. And that's something that I can improve on myself. I'm definitely not a pro at this or any of these items. I'm just noticing that these are good things to do and good practices. So I would definitely say saving is important. And this one, it's funny, but it's like weird. So when I've gotten my most recent job, so the past couple, I would always go ahead and go to Glassdoor. You know, there's like that site where you can see the company, reviews, salaries, like open jobs, all this stuff. And I kind of have taken the reviews for granted, but I think in the future I really need to realize that these are real people who have written down these reviews, and to really look at them. Like, this is real things, things that people have gone through. And if I can see like, okay, maybe this place is not the best place to work, that could save me and you so much heartache later on, just by reading and seeing what people have said about companies, you know? I think it's a really smart thing to do before you accept a position. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Okay, number 11, drive slower. So this is something that I have worked on recently, but can still for sure work on more, just like anything in my life and anything in your life as well. So I think I've been to court for speeding 3 times. Actually no, 2 times for speeding and 1 time for some other traffic thing. But every time I was able to get out of the ticket, I think without my insurance going up, I think I did have to pay like some kind of fee. I think 2 times I had to pay a fee, but still, it was over $100 both times, and that could have been saved if I was just driving slower. You know, no appointment unless you're going to the hospital and you're about to die, or if someone else's life is in danger, is worth going like 20 over the speed limit. Like 5 or 10 miles over, you know, sure, but 20, like, come on, calm down. This is something that I needed to really remember, and I currently have to remember, is to just slow down. Like, you don't need to be a psychomaniac on the road, and you know, it's fine. It's gonna save lives, you know. Your insurance won't go up, you won't get a ticket. Like, just drive slower. That's something that I really have improved on. I can improve on more for sure, but I think I've done a good job of that one. So most people are not out to get you is number 12. This is something, especially being gay, that I have struggled with. And I think when I was growing up, especially in like high school and in my hometown, I think I just felt like people were just like always looking at me negatively, and were always like kind of laughing behind my back. And maybe that was the case, you know, a couple of times, but that was like not the majority of the time. I think that as you grow up, you need to realize, or something that, not you need to realize, something that I have realized, is that, you know, you are so much in your head, and you are looking at yourself and way more judgmental of yourself than really anybody else is. So if you can get over little things that you aren't happy with about yourself, you're gonna be much happier, you know, as a person in general. I think that if I would have thought and put my energy to other things and making myself happy and forgetting about what I think other people think of me, you know, I would have been way better off if I had realized this younger. I think now, living on my own and being in, you know, a different city than I was growing up, I'm like, nobody cares what I do. I can do whatever I want. I can dress however I want. I can act however I want. And if anybody doesn't like it, you know, that's their problem. It's not mine. I can be strong and feel accomplished and whole as my own person, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So that is a huge one, and that's something that I will probably never fully realize, but I definitely understand it and can see it, you know, now that I'm a little bit older compared to when I was younger. Number 13 is cook more often. I actually really like cooking, and I think sometimes I'm like, okay, like let me just make something easy, whatever, something I know how to do. But I'm not an expert cook, but it is fun to try new things and to see like what might go together. Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing to do and try new things out. Go on Pinterest, you know, there's a million recipes all over the place you can find for free to try different like cool things. So that's a fun thing. And also if like you're eating healthy, you're really trying to do that, like there's so many options you could do to mix different things together to like create new meals, and I think that's fun. And number 14 is don't try to force anyone to be in your life. So this is something that I'm kind of learning currently. If someone is not making an effort to be there for you, be supportive of you, check in with you, don't worry about it. It sounds like so simple, it's definitely not, but yeah, totally like if someone's not making an effort, you know, I would say it's their problem. You have people in your life and I have people in my life who care about me and value me as a person, and anybody who doesn't, that's their issue, and it's not my job to try to make them feel comfortable or to try to talk them into, you know, wanting to be in my life. If they don't want it, then that's their issue, and there's way more people who do want to be in your life and my life than who don't. So that's my thoughts on that. Number 15 is do things because you want to. So I remember like growing up, my dad would always be like, do you want to go hunting? Do you want to go fishing? Like, let's go do like all this outdoorsy stuff. And not that I like hated these things, but I definitely, they weren't things that I wanted to do. And I think I would only, you know, go and do them because I felt bad. And I felt like kind of a couple things. Like I felt like if I didn't do them, then maybe he wouldn't like me as much. Or if I didn't do them, that maybe it would be like, I would see the disappointment in his face. Like he just really wants to hang out and do these things that I don't want to do, but I know he wants to do. So I would do them just to make him happy or to feel more accepted. And I get that as a child and like a little kid, it's hard to be like, no, you know, separate things. Like I don't like that. I don't want to do that. But as an adult, you have full freedom and full range to say yes or no, you know, to any opportunity or any situation in your life for the most part. I mean, some things, you know, you don't really have a choice in, but most things I think you definitely do. So now, if there's something I want to do or I don't want to do, I'm like yes or no. And I need to practice that more often because, you know, time is precious. You only get a certain amount of time in life, and make the most of it. If there's something that you're not into and you feel like you're forced into doing, don't do it. You know, I need to learn that, and I think I've come to realize that as I get older and older. Let's see, the next thing is start taking care of your skin early. So I've been blessed that I don't really have so much acne. Now I barely have any, but you know, sometimes I still get a pimple here and there. Growing up, I did get acne like sometimes, but I think if I would have started like skincare and really washing over my skin earlier, you know, my skin would look even better now and that kind of thing. So that's like washing your face and drinking lots of water, like all of this kind of stuff. Okay, so number 17 is experience things and places and putting your money into that instead of like buying tons of material things. This is something that I am still working on. Does this mean I'm gonna stop shopping? Of course not. I love shopping and I love getting things and I love new products and trying stuff out and clothes and all of this. But I will say that when I think of, you know, things that really mean a lot to me, I'm not sitting around being like, oh, these shoes that I really love, or, you know, this sweater or whatever it is, this jacket. You know, I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking of memories. I'm thinking of, you know, last summer, what did I do? Okay, I can pick something in my head that I really have a fond memory of, and that means a lot to me. And when you go back and, you know, years down the line, you're not gonna think of all the things you had. You're gonna think of the people and the places you visited, or the special outings, you know, all of these kind of things. So I would say if you can invest in a new bag or a trip, I would say do the trip if you have the funds. If you have the funds to do both, you know, that's awesome. But if you only have the funds to do one thing, do the trip. Okay, let's see what else. The next one kind of goes with like, I mean, actually no, a lot of these kind of like go hand in hand and like are intertwined, but that's fine. So number 18 is dress however you want and don't be afraid to try new things with your wardrobe or with your makeup or with whatever. I think kind of now, this is going back to another one, but now that I'm like living on my own, I feel like so much more empowered, and I feel more able to try things like style-wise that maybe I wouldn't have tried if I was living at home. Yeah, try things out. If you like something, wear it, and if you know, you get tired of it, get rid of it, sell it, or whatever. Yeah, make the most of your style and showing off, you know, your personality through what you wear. I think that's a really awesome thing. And yeah, be proud of what you're wearing. If you like to wear sweats every day, that's awesome, good for you. I personally don't, and I like to put effort into what I'm wearing. I like sweats, of course. You know, I have these track pants on now. But yeah, I would say, you know, play around with it, try things out, and have fun. Let's see. Number 19 is wear your retainer. Braces are so expensive. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure they were either like between 6,000 and 8,000 like years ago. So I can't imagine how much they are now or for Invisalign. And I also remember how annoying they were and how much they hurt as a child. So I can't imagine now trying to get like adult braces, like if I didn't wear my retainer. It would be, first of all, so expensive. Second of all, no offense to anybody who wears adult braces or Invisalign now, but it's a lot to go through. So I would say if you went through it once, you don't want to go through it again, wear those retainers. You're gonna have, you know, a beautiful smile, and that's way better than going through all the pain to have a beautiful smile, having the nice smile, and then losing it and having to go through, you know, the braces, the Invisalign all again. So wear your retainer. Number 20 is, instead of buying so much, buy quality instead of quantity. So this is something all my life I think I've kind of struggled with. And when I see a sale, I'm like, you need to buy it. You know, this is the time when everything is less expensive, like go and get it. But that really is not a smart way to shop, because you really have to think about, you know, what you're missing in your wardrobe, what you already wear a lot of, things that maybe look nice online, but you're like, okay, I would never wear this. Like, don't buy it. If something has a good price, that doesn't mean that you should get it. I would say, you know, especially now while you're home, take an inventory of like what you have and what maybe is missing. And like I said before, make a list. Make a list of what you would really like to buy or what you would think would really go nicely in your wardrobe. And instead of going on right now and finding all that stuff, take your time and like look and see like where's maybe a better price versus maybe better quality and spending a little bit more money. So I would say be more mindful when shopping, and instead of just buying things because it's on sale, think of you know, quality and how often you actually would wear this piece. Number 21 is drink water. Drink your water. Drink your water, drink your water, drink your water. Yeah, it's great for your skin. It's great for your digestive system. It gives you energy throughout the day. It just does so much for you. Like, I swear, people ask me like, what do you do for your skin? I do a lot of things, but water is something that I think can really improve anybody's skin. And just tell yourself like, okay, I'm gonna drink, you know, 4 of these today or something, and then make it a goal and then do it. Water is like the cheapest option, the least expensive option for really radiant skin. And I stand by that. All right, so number 22 is about like charity and giving back to the community and that kind of thing. I don't volunteer. I'll tell you that. I'm not gonna make this up. But I do occasionally, when I feel like I have the funds, donate to maybe the Red Cross or like different organizations that benefit maybe my community or, you know, a community overseas or something. I'm not saying I give tons of money because I definitely don't, but when I have a little bit of extra money, okay, I can donate $40 to this group and try to help somebody else. It's not a ton of money, I totally realize that. But it's taking a moment to say, okay, I have all of these things, you know, I'm blessed with this life. Somebody else who's less fortunate would love to have these funds, you know, and they could do so much with this. So I think that's really important. And also to give yourself a moment to be like, okay, I'm really grateful for everything I have. Maybe somebody is lacking and needs, you know, new clothes, money for food, money for rent, whatever. You know, you can donate to all these different places, and $10 is good, whether it's 10 or 100. You know, make a conscious effort to look outside and see maybe who could benefit from some of the things that you have. 23 is find a hobby. So this is especially important for right now that I'm home. I'm like, I don't really have a ton of hobbies. Like, I need to find things to do. So I've been picking up reading and trying to read a bit more. I exercised and like kind of liked some physical things before this. Obviously, I'm not like a bodybuilder in any sense, like at all. That's the biggest joke of my life. But I do like to do yoga. I like to go for walks. I like to do like workouts at home on my mat, you know, all this kind of stuff. And that's a fun thing to do. And if that takes up your time and it's something that's benefiting you, why not do it? I've seen people do like puzzles or cooking more, like I mentioned, or what else you can do. I don't even know. Make a YouTube video, like all of this stuff. Organize your closet. There's so many things to do, so many hobbies that you could find. And yeah, I think this is an awesome time to experience something new or go back and refresh a hobby that you really used to enjoy and then, you know, put it into action now. So we've made it to number 24. So not to say this is the most important of all of these, but I would say this one is pretty important. And that would be never stop learning. So I think it's awesome in every situation you're ever in, you know, there's positives and negatives, and there's always something that you and I can learn from that situation. So if you just take a minute and you're like, you know, this really sucks, like I hate what's happening, whatever the situation is, take a minute and be like, well, how am I benefiting from this? Or what have I learned out of this? Or, you know, maybe you go through something and you made a huge mistake, and then you're like, okay, well now I know I can never make that mistake again, and I know where I went wrong. That's all learning. Maybe you can take up a new skill, an instrument, or take a class. All of this stuff to remind yourself that you've never reached, you know, like a full like wisdom and understanding. You're never gonna get to 100%, but you can always make yourself better. You can always improve. And the minute that somebody is like, no, I think I'm good, I've learned all there is to learn, I know all there is to know, like that's a problem. That's a major problem, because then you're telling yourself, you know, I don't need to learn anything else because I've experienced everything. And of course, no person on earth has ever experienced everything there is to experience. You're always learning, you're always bettering yourself, and that makes a really well-rounded and, you know, smart and someone who has wisdom and has experience and has knowledge is someone who continues to learn. Alrighty, so those were my 24 lessons in 24 years. Thank you for watching and listening, and I really hope that, you know, somebody gains some kind of valuable information from this video. I would say it's a really cool thing to stop and kind of look back and say, what did I learn this week? What did I learn this month? You know, it just helps to grow and to check over your experiences, check in with yourself, and just, you know, see how you're doing. And I think that's a really, also, it can make you feel really nice to say, like, I've gone through all these experiences or learned all these lessons, and that is so positive. So yeah, thanks for watching. I so appreciate it. Happy April 4th is today, and I hope everyone is doing super well, staying safe, staying inside, you know, when possible, maintaining social distance from others. And yeah, I am just feeling positive about the future. I know we have a long way to go with this, you know, virus thing, but yeah, we're gonna get through this. And even though it seems like super daunting and difficult, I would say do your best to keep yourself busy, look on the positive side of things, And in the end, you know, hopefully everybody can come out stronger through this horrible situation. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.